All right, so who wants to start?
Why are you looking at me?
Because.
Okay. Welcome to another episode of the Bow Divas.
Are we recording?
We're always recording.
Oh, squirrel. Jesus. Okay, Annalisa, start off again.
Okay.
Countdown.
Yeah, we like to interview influential women in the sport of archery.
We're obviously very laid back.
And if there's something completely inappropriate that happens, just tell Julie, edit that out. Basically, it's a bunch of girls talking about archery. Welcome to another episode of the Bow Divas. I'm here with Barb Frazier.
Hello, Annalisa.
The Barb Tender. And Julie Griggs.
Hello.
Second place at Outdoor
Nationals.
Target
Nationals. Yeah,
and I'm Annalisa Green. And we're going to be doing something kind of fun tonight. We just did a few...
Oh, that's a text message coming in.
We just did a few giveaways on the live feed. You probably will hear about that
Thank you
last
for watching.
week.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. We have another...
Elvis is in the room. Elvis is in the building.
That was the
Elvis
cat
is here.
running across the board.
We forgot. We should have used that as a question. Who's our podcast dog?
That would have been a good
I didn't
question.
even think of that.
Yes.
Okay, we're totally off course again.
Yes.
So we're going to do a little phone a friend. We need to pick someone randomly.
We just go through the contact list and just
It'll be a surprise.
blindly dial.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go.
All right, pick somebody.
All right.
Drum
I
roll.
have someone picked. Here we go.
Got put on speaker, don't forget.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's a ringing. I know she's not going to answer, is she?
I don't know. She might not.
Who are we going to get next?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. She answered.
She did. Yay.
Hi, Diva.
Oh,
She knew who it was.
Huh.
Hi, Angie Henry. How are you?
I am wonderful, Miss Julie Griggs. How are you?
I am wonderful. We have
Barb and Annalisa, how are you?
Oh, we're good.
We're great. We're just so happy you got bail money and got back home from this
Yeah.
weekend.
That
And
we weren't in the Hoos Gal in Yankton, South Dakota.
I'm surprised you didn't get blown away.
I think it was questionable a few times whether or not they were going to let us go or keep us there.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, you two together in one spot is dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah.
But fortunately, Skip has some contacts and has a good attorney or something, right?
Yeah. You spent the weekend with our diva.
Oh, we had a ball. We had so much fun.
Yes,
That's what
we
she
did.
said, too.
Yep.
So let's, some people on our podcast maybe haven't met you or who listen to us haven't met you before. And what's that funny look you're giving me? Oh, you're looking at the...
No, I'm squinting at the recorder to make sure it's
It's
running.
actually recording.
I don't have my glasses.
Here, do you-
So what she's trying to say is maybe you can give us a little background on yourself and introduce yourself.
I can tell you this is Angie Henry.
Yes.
And she's been around for a while, especially I met her in 3D many years ago. And go ahead, tell us about when you got started and
Well, the
your
funny
background.
thing is that nobody really knows whether I'm a paper target shooter or whether I'm a 3D shooter because I've done both. I can't tell you that I I have no greater love for one than the other. I'm just an archer. If you put it out there, I'm going to shoot it. I don't care what it is. I just love to shoot bows and arrows. I guess I started out back in around 2004, 2005 as a 3D shooter. My very first ASA 3D tournament was back when they had a shoot down in Kinder, Louisiana at the casino at Coushatta. And had only been shooting for a very short time, and some of the people around here that I shot with are like, you've got to go to an ASA. You've got to go to an ASA and shoot some 3D. And so I did. My dad had an RV, and he drove me down, and we just had the best weekend together. First time I ever met Connie Griffin. She come walking out on the women's pin range, just like a regular Jane, and talked to all of us. I had kind of talked to her online a little bit, but I actually got to meet her there, and so, she was like one of my idols, and so it was great to get to meet her, and she and I have been friends ever since.
And you've done some jail time together too, right?
We have done some road trips. To the BRS shoot, probably in, I guess that was 2006 that we did that, and we got to meet a bunch of you KC folks up there, and had a great weekend, camped and shot some bows and arrows, and shot some pigs in the dark, and, had a great time doing that. And so it was like, once the 3D season ended, it was like, well, I don't want to stop shooting. I'm having too much fun with this, and so, the people that were everybody's 5-spot shooters around here because we're so close to Louisville.
Right.
Everybody around here shoots that 5-spot target, so they're like, hey, we're having a 5-spot indoor league. Come shoot with us. And I'm like, I have no clue what you're even talking about, but I'm there. If I get to shoot my bows, I'll be there. So I started shooting indoor leagues, and again, like I said, I can't tell you that I love one format over another format. I just enjoy shooting bows and arrows.
Yeah.
So, I've shot some of the NFAA stuff. Just went to Yankton, shot NFAA Target Outdoor Nationals. First time I've ever been there, but I love to shoot a 900. I mean, that's a lot of fun too. Watching an arrow fly for 60 yards is hard to beat.
Right. Unless it's in 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
I'm sorry?
Unless it's in 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Well, they do some interesting things even in that. So it kind of makes you cringe up a little bit when you're watching them, but it's definitely interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm. That's
it
for
made
sure.
you stronger.
I
Yeah.
was shooting, I guess it was Saturday when we were shooting in the rain. It wasn't even as windy Saturday as it was Sunday. And I shot one arrow and just watched it turn sideways, watched it through my scope, and I kind of, that was a little unsettling. Like, wow, I didn't know they would do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we learned all kinds of things that we didn't know they would do.
Oh, boy. Learned how to shoot fast, too.
Yeah.
I heard there was a lot of punching your triggers this weekend.
Yeah.
It's almost a have to do. You almost have to.
Yeah, and that kind of wind. What'd you have, like 30-mile-an-hour wind? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty stout.
I'm surprised you guys didn't shoot other people's targets.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
That
That
wouldn't.
happened.
Yeah.
That did happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Angie, did you wind up shooting somebody else's target?
I don't think I ever hit anybody else's target, but I hit completely off my paper to the right side of our target butt with one arrow. Another arrow I launched over the top of my target butt completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely interesting.
People who haven't been to that, either you or Julie could tell us how the tournament goes. Like, what distance did you shoot at? How many arrows? What's the difference between day one and day two? Give us a rundown.
Well, day one is an NFAA 900 round. You shoot 30 arrows from each 60 yards, 50 yards, 40 yards. You start at 60 and work your way forward. You shoot 5 ends of 6 arrows each at each distance. So if you're really on top of your game, you can shoot a 300 at each distance.
Okay.
So for a total score of 900.
That would be shooting in the 10 rings at each. Is the paper the same size at each of those distances, or is it?
Yes,
It is.
but it's
Okay.
very
Your
large.
center is the same size at each of those distances. And on Saturday, we shot I think it's a 122 centimeter. It's a larger circle than what we shot on Sunday. So then on Sunday, you shoot a 600 round, which is the same distance. It's 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards, but you start at 40 and back up to 50, and you actually shoot fewer arrows. You shoot 4 ends of 5 arrows in each of those distances. And like I said, you start closer and back up as you progress in that one. And that is a smaller center. It's a gold center, but it's a little smaller than what we shot on Saturday.
So you shoot 60 arrows, basically. Is that so? The first day you shoot
Yes.
90 arrows.
You shoot 90 arrows the first day.
Second day you shoot 60.
arrows the second day, yes.
Kind of a nice little break.
30 less arrows.
It is, except when
I love to shoot long distance. I really enjoy doing that.
it is a lot of fun. We went out Friday and practiced, and you couldn't hardly get us off the practice range because I mean, the sun was shining, the weather was beautiful, and I kept saying, "I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to."
You
and
were
I just kept going
practicing
and
for
going.
the wrong shoot. You were not preparing for the shoot ahead.
No, we had no. I mean, we knew it was going to rain.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that
I
the winds
watched
were
the
gonna get
video.
that bad.
The flags didn't look like they were blowing. They looked like they were cardboard flags sticking straight out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I didn't see when they did it, but I heard that on Sunday they took the big flag down because they were afraid it was going to bend or break the flagpole.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was just blowing so hard.
I noticed it was gone partway through the shoot, and I didn't know what had happened to it.
Yeah, see, I didn't notice it. I was too busy trying to figure out where my arrows were.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. You know, I appreciated Angie and some of the other girls standing back behind us, and we were all trying to spot for each other.
Right.
And you know, in a typical shoot, you're like, okay, did that hit in the X? You know, was it right or left? This time around, we just look back and say, did it hit paper?
Yeah.
Did it even hit the bail? Because
Did that hit my target butt? Where did my arrow go?
yeah, I mean that's how bad it was.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Well,
supposed to
and
come
I
up there with you
funny,
guys.
too, you can maybe see in some of the videos just how all of us girls up on that line, you know, the whistle would blow for us to shoot, and we would just stand there
Mm-hmm.
because it was like we were waiting on a lull in the wind to even shoot. So it was funny. You know, the whistle would blow, and then 15 seconds in, you'd see everybody draw.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the wind might blow us down, and about 10, 15 more seconds, you'd see everybody let down. So it's like nobody.
Jeez.
Everybody was just waiting for
Is
the
it-
lull.
is
to
it each
win,
end
to
timed?
shoot. And it was just kind
It
of
is?
comical,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Now we got
to watch it.
5 minutes on the first end, or on the first day, right? 5 minutes per end.
Yes, you had 5 minutes to shoot 6 arrows
And
each end on
That's a lot of
Saturday.
time.
And then it was 4 minutes to shoot 5 arrows each end on Sunday.
And I'm sure you probably used all of it waiting for.
I-
Well, on Saturday you didn't have as much wind.
No, but like on Sunday, I know I got down to like the last 10 seconds and had to rip a shot off. And Rayanne Klein, the girl that was on the
Yes.
line with me,
She's a good friend of mine.
she stood there, and I was counting down for her because
was that
she was
close?
running out of
Yeah.
time. And she and I both were shooting drop-away rests. This is how bad the wind was. It was
blowing
blowing our arrows off of our drop-aways. And Rayanne, bless her heart, stood there like 3 times and put my arrow back up in my rest.
Jeez.
And then hers, it did it a couple of times, and I could just stand there and watch the wind, and it would just creep
Pop it
that
off.
arrow up until it just hit the top, and it would pop off.
It's almost impossible to execute actually like proper shots in those conditions. And even if you do, with your arrow taking that kind of impact from an outside source, no telling what it'll do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all joked that after shooting in that wind on Sunday, we were going to have to come back and learn how to shoot again because we were gripping and punching.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
I-
And like I said, by the end of it, everybody was just laughing. I mean, it was like there was no pressure. Because
you get to the point like,
I
this is
kinda-
ridiculous.
I felt
Yeah.
like that feeling too, like when you guys were talking about it, like there was no pressure because there was no way, and everybody was thrown at the same level almost because there was no way to practice for that. Nobody's going to go out in that much wind to practice.
No.
So you guys were all thrown down on the same level playing field. And I bet it did become a little bit fun. I mean, I realized you were in 40-mile-an-hour winds, but I mean, just to...
It was just funny. I mean,
Right, it became comical.
But there was, you know, when you're in your element, when you're in excellent shooting conditions, you have an expectation set for yourself, and you tend to pressure yourself to live up to that goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that was gone. That was tossed out the window, and it was just shoot.
Yeah.
Fling 'em.
Shoot, just
Yep.
hang with it. And we even joked, some of us, that I'm going to shoot every one of these arrows just to prove I can.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
it got to where the goal was just shoot all 60 arrows. Just shoot them.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people quit though. None of the women, I think.
there were some that just said,
But-
nah.
Yeah, the ones right around us, I don't think. But I heard one of the NFAA officials walk by behind me, and he said, "I've got to go turn this card in. Somebody else just quit." So some people said, I'm not messing with this.
Maybe they ran out of arrows.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, if
possible.
you're losing them,
They're on that field back there behind the target button, and you can't find them.
But it almost got to the point where it's like, okay, this is personal wind.
Yeah.
It's me against you, you against me,
Right.
and I'm going to tough it out, and I'm going to finish
I
it.
drove a long way and spent a lot of money, so
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot this.
Yep.
You can't make me not.
Yeah. But I think it bonded us in a way,
bet.
especially the women, you know, the female freestyle women that were there. I mean, it's
right?
like I kept saying, it'll make a good story. If nothing else, it'll make a
Yeah.
good story.
You know, every time
And
I
I appreciated too that it was like we all did kind of form the whole group of women shooting. It wasn't just one or two. It was like the whole group. Actually, we're rooting for each other because it's like, here, I'll spot for you. You know, just everybody was suffering through the misery together, and so you know we had this common enemy, this crazy wind, and so we all formed this great relationship, all fighting this wind together.
I love
was a lot of
you
fun.
guys put up a picture on, I think Julie did, where there was like on one side of your paper there was all those pens in it, like I don't know, 20 or 30 pens.
Yeah.
just holding the target.
And
on.
we,
Oh, yeah.
and we weren't the only ones to do that. You looked up and down the line. You would
Everybody.
see,
Oh yeah, I'm sure your paper
pens.
was blowing up. You could, you know.
Mhm.
So
And Alicia, you started to
Well,
ask
and it was
something.
funny too. You'd look out there and see scorecards go flying down the range because you know they got away from somebody and then they couldn't catch them because the wind was blowing
Right.
them so fast they couldn't even get to them.
good grief.
It blew over bow racks with bows on them.
Oh,
One of the bales
yeah.
hadn't been anchored down. It blew that one over, and so somebody had to run out there and anchor it because they had it like with a cargo strap in the back and basically had them all spiked into the ground.
Wow.
And so that one, when we moved distances, they forgot to spike it down, and the wind just knocked it right over like it was nothing.
How many people were there at the event, do you think, total?
Angie, what'd they say? 265, 295?
I was thinking like around 270 is what for some reason that's kind of what stuck in my head.
And they said that's, I think that was a record when they first
That was a
started it
record.
3 years
This was
ago.
only the third year they
Right.
had that.
Yeah. So there were several people there. It's growing every year, apparently.
I wish I had gone. Every time we've ever attended anything in Yankton at that center, it's always been extreme weather. I mean, it's so flat. There's no trees up there. It's pretty different from around where we're at. So when you go up there and you get those high winds and extremely hot weather that you're not expecting in South Dakota, or getting snow when it shouldn't be snowing. I mean, it has always been like unpredictable. So good for you guys for sticking that one out.
It's funny too, because you look at scores from previous years, or we were even talking about this. People will look at our total scores from this year, and they'll go, "Oh man, beating that score is going to be nothing."
Yeah, you're going to get the numbers growing next year.
No, you go shoot that score in a typhoon or a hurricane.
30-mile-an-hour winds, and let's see how you do. You know.
Yeah.
And there ought to be a parentheses behind that score. Windy
Hurricane
as
force
heck.
winds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well, you've got zeros written all over your scorecard, and you come back to your little club and you shoot a 900 round where the wind's not blowing you around.
Right.
You know, you don't shoot zeros, and then you look at a scorecard and it's got 5 or 6 zeros on it. It's like, oh, I can beat that.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Well,
and
maybe they'll up the numbers.
And I think that's what it basically came down to, was who could shoot, or who wound up shooting the fewest number of zeros. You know, I think because you shot your butt off, because you shot more zeros than I did, but your score wasn't that far off of mine. So when you were hitting the target, you were nailing the target.
I had an end at 60 yards that I shot a 30.
Ooh.
I shot 3 10s and 2 zeros. So it was like, I'm thinking maybe I got a wall in there where I was able to get 3 clean shots off, but then apparently I had some blow me right off the target.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was everybody. It was just a matter of time before we all wound up shooting a zero. And I know all 4 girls on my bail, every single one of us shot zeros.
Who'd you have on your bail?
Oh, I think everybody did. I mean, I know that I did. I know that the 2 girls that shot me and Madison, the girl that won it, shot A-line on our bail. And I know the 2 girls that shot B-line, they dropped some zeros pretty early on. And Madison, she kind of hung in there for a long time. And then it happened to her, and when it happened, she says, well, it finally happened to me too. So I don't know that anybody got out of their Sunday without completely missing the target.
Yeah. I had Marcy, I cannot remember her last name, Marcy Hebert, I believe, Rayanne Klein, Risa Combs, and then myself on my bail. And all of us wound up shooting multiple zeros. Actually, one of my arrows wound up in Rayanne's target.
Oh, right.
I did. There was a part of me that felt sorry for Chris, the girl that shot with you, and I, Julie, the one that shot with us on Saturday, because it was like, I don't think she'd been shooting really long. I think she was a fairly new archer. And then to go out into that, and, you know, everybody wants to perform well. Everybody wants to look at their card and see a really good score. And I just kind of felt a little bad for her that her starting, her wanting to perform well, then she had to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it might make her a stronger archer later, just by the fact that she made it through it, that she did it.
Yeah, and she did. She toughed it out with everybody else.
She sure did.
Yeah, and I hope she sticks with it. I hope this isn't an experience, you know, assuming that she's a new archer, that it's not an experience that's going to drive her away from the sport, but makes her all
That
the
would
better for
stink.
it.
That stink. Get her all the way up there. She pays all that money.
Everyday experience that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, though, I mean,
That's the worst weather I've ever shot in.
wow.
Me too.
And yeah, I mean, you've guys probably shot in rain before at ASAs, and that's just sort of what happens though when you're outdoor. I mean, it could happen any of them you go to. It's unpredictable.
What was the temperature?
Oh my goodness, 60s.
So it was a little chilly.
Yeah, I think it, you know, honestly, I didn't pay. It was chilly, And like we had long sleeves or jackets on. Obviously, if the wind wasn't blowing that hard, it wouldn't have been that chilly. But it was cooler, definitely, than the day before.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw your Facebook and I saw the torrential downpour on Saturday. I don't think I looked at it on Sunday, and it was like bright and sunny and hot outside. And I was like, oh, I'm glad it's not like that here.
It was really hot and muggy where we were the whole weekend. I know it was a little cooler in Kansas City, but I just wondered if that played anything into it too. Well, do you want to talk anything about what you shoot? I mean, your bow or your arrows or?
Sure. I'm a fan of consistency. I shoot one bow for field, indoor, 3D. I shoot the same arrow for now for field and indoor and 3D. The only thing I'll change is my release, but we can go into that. I shoot an elite spirit. I've never really shot a woman's bow before, but I picked this one. Somebody kind of talked me into picking one of these up and shooting it, and I fell in love with it. When I drew it, shot it, I mean, I knew immediately that me and this bow were just going to get along well. So I picked that up a year ago in May, and I've shot it for just a little over a year, really, and enjoying it. Shoot a gold tip ultralight arrow. I'm only pushing 80 grains in the front because I've only got a 24.5-inch draw length. And so I try to keep something light. I used to shoot unknown distance 3D. And so that's kind of, I'm never going to be a speed demon, but I'll take it where I can get it. So I kind of built these arrows to shoot 3D with, and they were flying so well that it's like, I'm just going to stick with them. Again, like I said, I'm a fan of consistency. If I've got something that works, I'm going to stick with it.
Right. So you're shooting even for indoor the gold tips, ultralight. That's what I shoot for 3D.
Yeah, I'm shooting the same arrows for indoor and outdoor. Now I did pick up. I shot some gold tip series 22, a little larger shafts. I kind of played around with those last year, like before Louisville. I actually think I even shot those in Louisville. And I didn't really see any big advantage to them over my smaller shafts. I mean, I ended up shooting scores that were as good or better with my smaller shafts than I did with the Series 22s. They were some Skips, and I picked them up and thought, I'm going to play with these, and shot them and blah, blah, blah. But I just can't convince myself that they're any better than my 3D arrows. But in the wind, I think I have learned that I need something a little heavier than 80 grains out front.
Right.
And that one arrow went down sideways on me Saturday.
Yeah. And that was in lighter winds. That wasn't even in the hurricane.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. Yeah. Well, the way the wind was blowing Saturday, once it left my bow, I couldn't see it anymore anyway, so there's no telling what those things. And a release. I'm a release shooter. I've shot a hinge for years. I'm shooting a stand blackjack right now. I've shot a Zenith for years, glass Zenith for a long time. But last year, 2 years ago, I picked up a stand blackjack and just like the way it feels. It's really rounded, fits my hand well, and I started shooting that. And the funny thing is I love shooting it for 3D. I love shooting it at 20 yards. But what we shot over the weekend, I've also got a Stan SX3 thumb trigger. And I found that I'm shooting better at long distance with that thumb trigger for some reason. And I think it has to do with control. Now, I mean, I know that I need to just let the shot happen, but I almost feel like shooting that thumb trigger gives me a little more time to steady up before that shot happens. I can kind of ease into my shot a little more with that trigger than I can with my hinge. I just feel a little more in control with that trigger.
Yeah, you're the Well, I think the third person to say that since we've been doing
We've
this
had
podcast.
multiple people say that you know.
I listened to the podcast. I listen to you guys too, by the way.
Yay.
Well, there's sort of
I
a
am a fan and a follower. I heard Connie Griffin say the same
Yeah.
thing, and I was like, yeah, exactly. I mean, she said the same thing.
Right.
It's like, wow.
and there's a fine
so
line.
Now it's like, maybe I need to just stick with that thumb trigger for indoor and see what my scores do. See if I can get my X count up.
There's was
But
a lot
like I
of.
said, I'm a fan of consistency, so having these 2 releases in my pouch just makes me crazy.
There,
I'm so, Julie will get a kick out of this, I'm so buttoned up and OCD that if I've got something going on that I can't explain, it's going to drive me crazy. I've got to know how it happens, why it happens. I mean, and so this whole trigger thing's kind of got me baffled at the moment.
right.
Yeah.
Well, just to kind of bring up, there's been like quite a few people, quite a few of the pros that we've talked to. Sharon Carpenter also this year, is it this year, has went to, or in the last 2 years has went to a button. Mm-hmm. Connie's went to a button.
Emily Vania did.
Emily Vania also
she
has.
was a hinge shooter, and she switched over.
Mm-hmm.
Is Paige Gore a hinge or is she a button? Because that picture on Facebook
She's
showed
like-
a wrist strap this weekend.
She's
And
been a
that's
wrist
what
strap.
That's what she shot this weekend. She shot a wrist strap like a hunter type of,
Yeah.
I think she shoots
trigger.
like Mike.
And she set a record for that tournament this weekend with that thing.
I think she shot the high score
She-
even over the Open Pro men.
Yeah, I believe
I think
you're right.
His score was higher than anybody's.
She also won that. What was that big shoot that they had in Pennsylvania?
Oh, the OPA.
Yeah, the
Levi's
OPA shoot. She won that one. I watched her on that one. She's shooting a like Mike.
I think she's been shooting the wrist strap for a while.
She has been.
Mm-hmm.
She has been.
Every picture
But-
I've
There are
seen.
people that can shoot those. Tim Gillingham can shoot one of those. Michael Braden can shoot one of those. I'm a firm believer too in that not all things are for all people.
I'm
And
pretty
that's what I tell somebody. If you've got something that you're comfortable with that's
it works.
working well for you, don't give it up just because it's not what everybody else is doing. If it's working for you, stick with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same one that Michael Braden shoots, which it is a tension activated. You can't.
Is it?
Yeah, you can't. Have you ever shot one? They're like you lay your finger on it heavy and it won't go off. You literally have to pull on it to make it go. So it's actually,
Gotcha.
it is really a tension activated, probably a little more similar to like an Evolution, the way it activates.
Yeah.
I think you have some adjustments on it, but she shot one of those forever and she won that OPA and I saw that too, that articles that she had the highest score there. She shoots it good. Why change?
shoot.
Exactly.
I shoot locally here with a guy. He shoots pins and he shoots a wrist strap release.
Right.
And he can shoot, on an indoor 5-spot, he's shooting 52, 53 X's.
Wow.
And it's like, dude.
We've got a local guy, Eric Camp. He shoots a wrist strap, has for forever.
And shoots it very well.
Shoots it very well. He's
very competitive with it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
So
it is kind of one of those things. If anybody ever tells you there's a magic release or a magic whatever, they're lying.
that's right.
Well, they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell you
Yeah.
something, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a time, patience, and practice is what it takes.
So tell us about your husband, because he has some a lot of background in the archery community too.
He does. He worked for the AFA for a number of years. He was their web designer, graphics guy. He is who would post your scores after your first day of shooting. He'd post your scores. Used to do the pictures. He did all of that. But then he got a real job, kind of like have had to do, and so his availability to do that was a little limited. So that stopped. But yeah, everybody Everybody in the 3D circuit knows Skip, and Skip knows everybody in the 3D circuit. He is a shooter. He's a big 3D. 3D is definitely his preference. Shot in the semi-pro class. He's kind of converted over to the known distance stuff like I have, because it's just, to me, I have all the respect in the world for these folks who can judge, they look at it and they know within half a yard how far that thing is. But if you don't do that all the time, you lose the ability to do that. And unfortunately, we've lost a lot of 3D clubs in West Tennessee. There just aren't a lot of 3D clubs around anymore. We shoot field more than we shoot anything. And so, he kind of like, I just don't have that anymore. So he shoots men's known 45.
Right. And he had some back surgery, didn't he?
I'm sorry?
Didn't Skip have some back surgery recently or a year ago? Or
He did a year ago this past May, so May of 2015. He had big back surgery. He now has 3 rods and 5 screws and 2 artificial discs. And so his neurosurgeon says, I don't even want you looking hard at a bow. And so when he went back did great, did wonderful through the surgery. That neurosurgeon was a godsend to us, because Skip had gotten to where he couldn't even get out of bed to eat dinner. I mean, it was horrible. And so his neurosurgeon was a godsend to us, and I said that he gave us our life back, because Skip was able to, he's shooting again now. At his year checkup, his doctor says, if you feel like doing it, do it.
That's awesome.
And Skip has said that he feels better now than he's felt since he was in his 20s. And so I'm just so thankful that we had access to that.
You better watch out. He'll be chasing you around the house.
That's exactly.
That was just divine. It was divine intervention. I mean, God put what we needed in our lives right when we needed it.
That's good.
That was awesome to see him before and after.
Well, it was great seeing you guys at Metropolis, because I think that was the first ASA you've been in. You both have been at it in quite some time, so it was really fantastic seeing you there.
We went to a couple in 2014, not a whole bunch. We just came back from New York. I'm from West Tennessee, the Memphis area, and so I was going to a lot of the ASAs even before Skip and I got married. And then I moved to New York, which is where Skip is from, upstate New York in the Catskill Mountains. And so then, right after we got married, we were flying back and forth to all the ASAs, and we spent a lot of money doing that. And so it's like, I probably should back off, because, we do like to have utilities and we like to eat. So it's like, okay, we better get some money back in the bank, because shooting my bow wasn't paying our bills. So it's like, okay, I better ease off this. Of course, Skip still went, because he works for him, so he was still going. And then we moved back here to the Memphis area in 2011. And to be completely honest with you, when my traveling to large tournaments backed down, I really backed off shooting. I really wasn't shooting that much. And when I came back to Memphis, there was a young girl here that I had shot with before I moved north, and she sent me a text message, and she's like, Miss Angie, please come shoot with me.
Oh.
And so it's like, I can't not go shoot with this kid. So I picked it back up around 2011. Picked it back up a little more seriously. And So here I am back into it.
All right.
And we just do it for fun. We do it. I just love to shoot. I love to shoot. We went to Louisville last year. I've never been to Vegas. That's on the bucket list.
Oh, yeah. That's a definite. You're going to have to go to Vegas.
Once you go, though,
Yeah.
you won't want to not go.
Well, and that's what I was getting ready to
Yeah.
ask you is, so what future shoots can we see you at?
Well, I will more than likely be in Cincinnati. I'll go to Indoor Nationals again. That's kind of become a social thing for us now because there are a couple more couples here from Memphis that go do that. And so
Right.
we all went together, hung out together. More than what Skip has mentioned, hitting some more of the ASAs next year. Metropolis is only like 3.5 hours north of me. So
Oh, that's good.
That's a pretty regular for us.
Mm-hmm.
Texas would be closer too. I would think the parachute. It would be reasonable.
Paris is about maybe 6 hours from me. Maybe not quite that far, but definitely drivable.
That would be a good one to go to. But, speaking of indoor, I mean, you could come to Kansas City.
To the Pro-Am.
To the Casey Shootout, the Pro-Am.
I got some friends up around that area.
Yeah, you might know
definitely come up there.
Yeah.
You might know
see,
someone with a spare room.
Yeah.
Have a spare room. And I could even get Skip Henry to come with me too.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. See?
He might sign up for that. Like I said, he's not a big fan of paper targets, but he'll pretty much do if I ask him to do something. He'll do it.
You
Ask him to do.
Yeah, you just make him think it's his idea.
I tell him to do something for sure.
Just make him think it's his idea.
Right.
Well, I could do that too. We could shoot in Kansas City,
I think-
Pib lives in Kansas City.
That's
so
right.
I think
just be
someone
thinking
named
about
Pib
that, okay?
could put a bug in his ear. What
Oh,
do you
yeah.
think?
Exactly. You haven't seen Pib in a while, Skip. Maybe we should take a road trip. And this would be a good weekend to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you ladies do in archery this week?
Hey, wait.
That's a Bow Dudes question.
Behind a little bit. So
Yeah.
on the road trip back from Yankton,
Yanked them. That's right. We
when
yanked
I was in
them.
the back seat, I put my headphones in, and I told the odd couple that came with me that I put my headphones in, and to if they needed me, just yell at me or something. And I listened to you guys, and I listened to some of the Bow Dudes that I had not listened to, and I was back there rolling in the back of my car.
I know. Is this like an archery show, or is it actually on the comedy? What are we classified in?
Archery comedy.
Archery comedy.
Is it that funny?
Yeah, that's good.
What it is. It makes me wish so bad that I was hanging out in the archery lounge and hookah bar with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, see, if you come up for the shootout,
Yeah,
we could
we'll do
record
some.
an episode and get you in here.
Hang out there.
Yeah.
I can hang out there.
More motivation.
Yeah.
We need to do
So
some.
now it's time to put new strings and cables on because I hate changing anything. Here I am back at my
Gosh, I'm the
consistency
same way.
I hate changing something on my bow, but
Me
it's
too.
time for new strings and cables, and they're just sitting out there. And I told Skip that he wasn't touching my bow until after Yankton. There's a story behind that too, but I told him to keep his pretty little fingers off my bow until after I shot it this weekend. I gave him the go-ahead to start tinkering around with my bow.
Yep, because at one time he did not do that, did he?
That is correct. 2 nights before Louisville, he decided that my draw stops were not in the right place.
Uh-huh.
Did you
So
know?
he-
Did you know that he switched it? Or
That'll change your draw length.
Yeah, I kind of figured it out when I was shooting it, but it just wasn't right.
Oh, so you didn't know beforehand though?
Well, I looked the bow over, kind of tinkered with it a little bit. So, I mean, it was like,
That's what my
I
husband
don't
does.
know what. And then when I picked it effectively changed what I felt as far as like my let off.
Right.
Mhm.
And you know, and I'm so appreciative to have somebody who cares, who will look at my bow and go, "That's not right. I got to fix that." I really, you know, on one side of the coin, I'm so fortunate to have that.
Right.
Because I joke with him all the time, and I say, it's my job to shoot, and it's your job to worry about it. Because I don't know nothing about the mechanics of a bow. I just want to pick it up and shoot it, and I want to shoot in the center.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I just want to shoot it, and you make it where it hits in the center.
Right.
You make it where it sits in the center.
He changed my draw stop, and he's like, I only changed it this much. And I'm like, I can feel that. I can feel that much. And it was like it was 2 days before Louisville, and it's like my bow felt totally different.
Yep. I have a man just like it.
At that point, I was just do the best you can with it. Just do the best you can with it. I was actually a little disappointed with how I shot, but it wasn't worth killing my husband over.
No, it never is.
I think that they care.
Yeah.
I think they care, and they know that we will not change anything, so they sneak in while we're asleep, like the freaking archery gnomes. And
Archery gnomes.
come in there and tinker, or
Archery elves.
archery elves with their little hammers and their little tights.
Well, that's kind of what happened to me tonight too, because the other day we were talking about setting up this bow for bow hunting, and he came up last night. I got your bow all switched. I was like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, there's no clear,
I mean,
hey, there's a blueprint
we
here.
had talked
We're
about
switching
it.
some stuff up. There's none of that. There's, I just changed
I have a
a
new
few
sight. I
things
have a
on
new
your
stabilizer. Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And then my first shot earlier today, I went out and shot about 3 arrows, and I hit the tree.
Yeah.
With it. I was like, oh, that's off.
But I think that's what they do. They think we're never going to change it, so they're going to do it and hope that we don't notice. Well, guess what?
Well, I think Skip and I came to a mutual understanding that in the future, if there's something going on with my bow, you can tell me it's going on, and then let me decide whether or not I want you to do
change
something
it.
with it, especially when I'm inside of 2 weeks of a
Right.
tournament.
Right. Much less 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, let's don't. That's why I got this string and cable, and then I decided I was going to go up to Yankton. And I told him, I said, it's there. I know I need a new string and cable, but please, let's don't change anything about my bow until I get back. Nothing about my bow. Let's just shoot it like it is.
Don't blame you. I think
I'm so sensitive to just the least little change.
Yep.
It makes me crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I could just be one of those people that just picks it up and shoots.
No.
I don't have that. I don't have that natural talent.
There are
I
some
really
people out
wish I
there.
did, but I don't.
There are some people like that, and you just want to go and punch them in the nose, don't you? You're just like,
yeah. I stood outside in 105-degree weather and shot for 3 hours, and I still can't hit the middle. And you pick it up, and you go out there, and you drill the center. My daughter's like that. My daughter can just go out and go, no, okay, I hit the middle. There's no challenge to that.
Yeah.
Like, you little shit.
yeah.
I think it's like the more you try, like when you really are focused on hitting the middle, and then you like, I remember one indoor tournament, I shot 5 arrows all right around the X ring. I had score 20 and 0 X's. I did that a couple of times. I was like, that's retarded. That is stupid.
Hey, you know what? I've made the comment too that
One of those should have been an
some
X.
of my best scores, and I'm going to kind of go back to indoor 5-spot shooting. Some of my best scores on the nights that I shot those, it was easy. It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I got in my groove, I got in that zone, and I couldn't miss.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't having to try. And then the nights that I'm really trying, the wheels just fall off the wagon. Then you get more frustrated.
Right.
Then you start cussing. Well, before the night's over, you're in a crown royal.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Drinking some liquid aim,
Yeah,
right?
I think we all need to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Have you ever do you do any hunting?
No, I don't hunt.
Really?
I'm allergic to cold, and I'm allergic to mornings.
Oh my gosh, I think you're my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I love when Skip gets to go. I mean, there's nothing in this world that excites him like getting to be out in the woods.
Right.
And so I love for him to go and get to do it. And when we lived up in New York, he was like, why don't you go turkey hunting with me one day? I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I said, you know, what time do we need to get into the woods? Maybe 8, 9, 10. He's like, yeah, no, we need to be out there at like 4 in the morning. And I'm like, dude, you've lost your mind. Yeah, no. Tell you what, how about I stay here and sleep and you have a good time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think I would like to go pig hunting someday.
Mm.
A lot of people say that's really fun.
I think I would enjoy that, and I don't know why. I don't know what about. I think maybe it's a challenge. I see that as a challenge, and maybe that's why I want to do it.
I think pigs would be fun.
I don't want to do the easy stuff. I don't want it easy.
I think I know why you want to do pigs. I think you can kind of go any time of the day and it's warm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Yeah. I love to fish, though. Man, put me in the middle of a trout stream, and I am in heaven.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. How about some bow fishing?
I've never done it.
Me either.
Annalisa
Me either.
makes it look fun.
I know.
You know, I haven't got to go at all
Yeah.
this. Well, maybe 4 times this whole summer. Oh, it's killing me. Yeah, you'll have to come up and go bow fishing.
Yeah, don't
That
listen to her.
sounds
She keeps promising it to us, too, and we haven't been yet.
Yeah, it's kind of over.
Well, none of us have really a setup right.
No, not really.
That's the problem.
Oh, I take that back. October is buffalo. They spawn in the cooler weather. We might be
Yeah.
able to.
There you go.
My boat's down. I can't offer up my services right now. So I have to ask other people to offer their services for us to go. But yeah, you probably like that too, because middle of the day and the heat of the day is when you shoot the most fish. So you'd like that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Sounds like
Yeah.
that'd be right up your alley.
I'm accustomed to midday and heat. So
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
How did you deal with New York while you lived it, if you like the warm? Because you're upstate New York,
I learned
right?
how to layer, and I learned that wool is my friend. I did all right. And it's funny because I was like a kid in a winter wonderland because, you know, being here in Memphis, if we got a dusting of snow, the city shut down.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, that was a big deal. And, you know, my first drive up there, I hit a storm, and I was in Pennsylvania for 3 days because of the bad road conditions and the weather. But by the time I finally made it to New York, they had close to 4 foot of snow.
Jeez.
Wow.
And so I, you know, baptism by fire, I drove up in that, and again, like I said, I was like a kid in a wonderland, just in awe of this snow and playing in the snow and building snowmen and going snow skiing, and I was just in awe of that much snow. I'd never seen that much snow in my life. And actually, even in the summer up there, the things you can do outdoors in the state of New York is unreal. You know, you say New York, and everybody immediately thinks Manhattan,
City.
steel and concrete. there is so much more to New York than just that little area. And it's a shame that people don't realize that. That is a beautiful state. There are dairy farms. There are mountains. It's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Where we lived, we'd get off work and we'd be in a trout stream within 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had the waders, the fly rods, the whole shebang, and it's like, I had a terrible day at work, let's go fishing. Or, I had a wonderful day at work, let's go fishing. You know?
Let's just go fish every day.
Let's just go fishing.
Yeah.
That's great.
But like I said, it was really nice to be able to go out and do things. We had a little pop-up camper even that we would take out on weekends and just set up and fish for the weekend. We'd go over into Vermont, northern Vermont, and fish over there. And of course, go over and do some leaf peeping in October. Vermont in October is wonderful.
I imagine it
I
is.
told Skip, I said it's like living in a Norman Rockwell painting. It's just unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah, I can
out there.
imagine. Well, I've gotten to see that part of the country when Vince was in the Air Force. He was stationed in Rome, New York, which isn't quite as beautiful as the rest of the state. But he went TDY to Loring, Maine, and I went and visited him. And so we drove through like part of Vermont, New Hampshire, up through Maine, and that's just a beautiful part of the country up there.
Yeah, we did a long weekend where we went out to Boston and then kind of drove up the coast, like you said, through New Hampshire. Just beautiful.
Right.
We went to Kittery, Maine. We went to York, where there's this wonderful lighthouse sitting out there, and just had a great weekend. And I got to see stuff that was just so different than where I've grown. You know, I'm in the Mississippi Delta. It's as flat as the top of your kitchen table where I am. You know, and cotton fields and dirt.
Right,
Yeah.
Where
right.
I am.
Yeah.
Then to go see that, it's like,
But you're there close to
Wow.
Graceland. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, if she heard you.
I don't know either. I said you're close to Graceland, though.
It's not in a very good part of town.
You're close to Graceland, she said.
Oh, yes, I'm close to Graceland. It's funny to be in the Memphis International Airport around, like the 7th of January, 10th of January, kind of around that time, just seeing the Elvis folks come to town. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
We'll see then. Vegas will be nothing for you then.
Yeah, because they're everywhere.
They're everywhere out
Elvises
there.
everywhere there, too, yeah.
Midget
Yeah.
Elvises, black
Well, it's funny, too, we're
Elvises.
home to the world famous Beale Street, which
Yes.
is the birthplace of the blues.
Right.
I have
If you
been
like
to Beale
blues
Street. It's
music,
really cool.
We have beautiful Beale Street also downtown. Now, when you go, you better be carrying your little handgun with you because our city's gotten a little rough. But I mean, Memphis has got some neat history, some neat things of its own.
Right.
Barbecue.
Real Memphis barbecue. Don't order real Memphis barbecue in New York because it's nowhere near.
I wouldn't know the difference.
No, I tried that and it didn't work out so well.
Well,
I'm in New York going, hey, can you bring me some barbecue? And they look at me and they're like, what planet are you from?
exactly.
Yeah, you kind of stood out in South Dakota too a little bit.
What with her accent?
With her accent, yeah. They'd ask her, "Where are you from?"
Right.
Where are you from? Yeah. What do you say, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well-
Oh, no. Yeah.
The Dakotas.
You're not from around here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it was fun.
Annalicia has a question for you about your quiver.
Yeah, you have a hip quiver. You've probably heard this before. You
What
do you
do
have?
What do I have in my quiver?
Yeah, what do you have in your quiver that's spatial?
Spatial.
Spatial.
Spatial. Now we're all trying to talk like Angie.
You know, I probably just have the normal, regular stuff. I've got knocks, and I've got Allens, and I've got a screwdriver. But on my shooting stool, and you guys are going to think this is so sappy that it's just disgusting. I have a picture, the very first picture that Skip and I ever took together.
Oh,
I have that hanging.
I just
on
got a
my
cavity. That's so sweet.
I'm very fortunate. I have a husband that I really do like, and I think he still likes me. If he doesn't, he fakes it really well. So.
Well, you can tell him to like you if he don't.
right.
He'll do whatever you tell him.
Yeah. Do you still like me? Sure, I do, Glow Bug. Thanks, Skip. But yeah, that's probably my.
I have a kind of because we're gonna have to wrap it up here soon. But I do have a quick question.
I do have something funny though.
No, go ahead.
I do have something funny. It's not in my quiver and it's not on me physically, but on my bow, where a wrist strap,
right?
The hunter type wrist straps go on your bow, that leather thing that they feed through. I have got 2 little Marvin the Martian buttons in those holes. So I have Marvin the Martian on my bow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
She does. They're cute. Yeah,
That's
they're
cool.
pretty cute.
So I drag Marvin around with me
That's cute.
on my bow all the time.
No,
that's
I
cute.
love him. I mean,
that is cute.
Don't make me angry.
No, I have another question though for you. How did you get the name Glowbug?
Honestly, I don't know. Julie and I were just talking about this. I don't know. I mean, I heard, again, this is kind of sticky, sappy, sweet. You have a glowing personality. Just things like that. Hey,
Cute.
why not? That was back in the day when you didn't tell anybody your real name on the internet. Because if you told them your real name, they were going to track you down and stalk you.
I think that's still the same situation.
Yeah, so I wouldn't tell anybody my real name. So I was just Glowbug.
Yep.
There you go.
I was just curious. I've always known you as that, like back when we had Archery Site and Archery Talk, and everybody used to get on those those forums. That was pre-Facebook.
We've known each other by these names for so long. It's like, you mean you have a real name?
Right.
You mean
exactly.
You're not for my 24 bomb?
Yeah.
24 bomb?
Right.
That's not your real name?
Well, it's funny you bring him up because I was just getting ready to ask before we wrap this up. You have any insults for Bob? He's a closet fan. He wouldn't admit it, but I think he does listen to our podcast.
Well, me, I've gotten more mileage out of that 43-yard pig in the dark. Bob, you know that story, don't you?
Do you know that
I
story?
don't
I don't know if she does or not.
I doubt if Annalisa does. It is hilarious. The BRS shoot that I came to back, again, like I said, that was probably around 2006.
Probably.
The one that Connie Griffin and I came up to. We were shooting the known distance, like the Sims course that was set up out there. And I was shooting it. It was me and Bob Brown and WR, Wesley Roberts.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that Walleye Joe Nings, was shooting it with. See, I can't call anybody by their real name. I have to throw it.
That's right.
We were all shooting it. And Bob and WR, they were going to beat me. They weren't going to get beat by a girl. I mean, that just wasn't going to happen. So we're going along there, and we had shot, like, by the time the pig was the very last target, it was getting dark. He was kind of setting up in the woods. I mean, he was a bitch of a shot, I'll tell you. And it was 43 yards. That little javelina, little Diva javelina.
Right.
But it was black. It wasn't pink. It was black. Sitting in the woods in a hole, couldn't see him. I was so far up on Bob and WR that I didn't even have to shoot the stinking pig. I was that far up on them. Well, I'm trying to remember. I don't think Bob, even if he shot a 10 and I didn't shoot it, I don't think Bob could catch me. But if WR shot a 10 on it, maybe like he would tie me. And it was hilarious because
they were shaking in their boots.
Even, like Bob shot it in the leg, and WR like shot an 8 on it, but not Mo Buck, Dave somebody, can't remember his last name, but Mo Buck and Mo Doe were a couple. Again, like I said, I think his name was Dave something. Well, nobody could see WR's arrow, so they're trying to convince me he shot a 10, so I'll have to shoot this thing. And Connie was going, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. and truth be known, he didn't. They were just telling me that, but it was just so funny because we got to that 43-yard pig in the dark, and that was their saving grace to even catch me, and they couldn't do it. So.
That's good.
So now when Bob starts in on
Did you go ahead and shoot it, or
43-yard pig in the dark, buddy? You just remember that.
So did you shoot it?
I don't think I ever even shot it because, like I said, Connie was the one going.
Say no.
You don't have Angie. Don't shoot that pig, Angie. They're lying to you. Don't shoot that pig. They're lying to you. She got him. She got him. She's like, I cannot believe you guys are trying to do that to her. He didn't shoot a 10 on that pig.
I can believe they were doing it.
Well, I've seen you and
that was a fun weekend too.
I have seen you and Bob go at it pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I tell him all the time I'm gonna kick him right square in the butt, and he tells me I'd have to stand up on my shooting stool.
He does.
Uh-huh.
And Alicia, you've never seen me, but I'm only 5 feet tall.
She's a hair shorter than me and Julie.
Oh,
just
yeah?
a little bit shorter.
Well,
So
you just have to jump and punch.
Yeah.
jump and punch.
Yeah.
Well, Angie, it's been a lot of fun. We're going to have to wrap this up. We've had a great time talking.
Thanks for having me on. I feel honored to be on here with
I'm gonna reserve the room in December. I think is when the Pro-Am is. So we'll reserve you a room.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can talk Mr. Henry into doing it. I know exactly how to get there. I drove through there over this week.
That's right.
It's easy to get to.
So.
Yep.
All right. Well, you take
All right,
care.
ladies. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
on. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
I forgot how funny Angie is.
She's a mess. She is a mess. She is funny.
Bob Brown and I have seen them together at a shoot, and she's brutal on him. And he's like, the short jokes are never ending.
Yeah.
Never ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The Bob Father.
The Bob
And the
Father.
glow bug.
Mm-hmm.
I want a bug name now.
you we'll have to come up
Like
with
the walking
one.
stick or the praying
Mantis.
That's what I was thinking.
Annalicia Mantis.
Ah,
Anna Mantis.
You're grasshopper.
I called Anna that the other day when she was, because I'm teaching her to drive, which is terrifying. She actually does a really good job. It's just, you don't have control of the car and you've got a new driver and it makes you want to vomit quite often.
Right.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Well, we all got to start somewhere.
That is true.
Yeah, she's doing really good. Honestly, she's doing really good. It just
Good.
makes me nervous.
Yeah, my kids did too when I was teaching
But
them how to drive.
I said,
She's
you're doing good, grasshopper.
Did you really tell her that?
Yes, I did.
And did she look at you?
She was like,
you're
what
crazy?
the heck? Yeah. And then I was trying to tell her to use the force to get around this curve. And she told me that was a bad idea. That was bad advice. Close your eyes and use the force.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that in archery.
Hey, it might work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if it
When
works.
in doubt, close
That's
your
right.
eyes.
That's right.
I think I have pulled out some shots with my eyes closed.
Oh my god.
I remember that one time in Louisville when I was Tina Turner, and then the next day I was swaying so bad I was like, "Oh, better catch it on the sway back."
Yeah.
Boom.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yankton would have been a piece of cake for you then.
No.
Yeah.
Yankton has never been too kind to me. But you know what? I do like extreme weather. Like you said, you felt like you were bonded with them. Rhiannon Klein and I shot the world's outdoor and spent 4 days pouring rain out of the 5, and we bonded over that too. Plus we had a couple of South Americans on our bail, and I'm still friends with them. So yeah, it does bond you together, and I do like that kind of thing. So I probably would have really enjoyed it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like extreme stuff. So
yeah, it sucked at the time, but and Angie was right. She described it perfectly. You just get to the point where you just have to laugh about the whole thing because, and it does become kind of a.
I would imagine.
Yeah. And a new determination sets in. It's like, okay, I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm going to keep shooting anyway, and I'm going to fight through it.
I think a couple years ago we went to the ASA in Florida, and the second day it was pretty windy. I mean, it was pretty windy, but it would have these lulls. And so we did a lot of shot timing. Stand there, lulls coming, hurry up and draw, shoot.
Yeah. And that's exactly how it was. I mean, everybody'd stand there ready. And the trees behind us, I was listening to them, just when they would start to let up. You draw your bow,
now.
and but I mean, it was like punch the hell out of it because you didn't know when the next gust was coming, which was really pretty quick.
And I could see where you'd
totally
have to
sucky.
almost come back and spend a little while shooting actual, like executing shots to kind of get out of that habit.
Yeah, I told Vince, I said, if I ever complain about pin movement ever again, just smack me. Because after that, it shouldn't be a problem.
That was like 4 foot, 5 foot pin movement.
Well, and
it was
and then
literally.
she went down with a 6-powered lens, so that's even extra movement.
Yeah, but I mean, and it was. I mean, literally, like my bow would move so much, my pin would be on the next target over, and I'd have to let down and start over because it was just that bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've been invaded by testosterone, so we should probably just go ahead
Yes,
and
but
wrap this whole
we're
thing
definitely
up.
appreciative of Man Candy running the camera.
Yes. Thank you, Man Candy.
Thank you. You can have a giveaway. We'll give you a sticker.
Yeah. That your wife made.
That is pointless. I'll give him a sticker.
Okay. Let's keep it at least PG-13.
I'm going to give him a Man Candy sticker. What are you talking about?
Did you hear Julie's, like, on our last one, that really long, the edit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to, I sped it up, I think.
I don't know what you did, but
yeah,
it did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, what was that we edited out? It seemed like a big chunk.
it was your husband.
It was.
Yeah, cuss word here and there. It's like, I'm letting it go, but there was something else there that had to be dealt with.
You got edited.
She was a wizard.
She was a wizard.
Zapped it out.
You're a wizard, Harry Potter.
All right.
All right.
On that note.
All right.
All right. We will see everybody later. And Annalicia has I never remember this, so you have to do it.
You can find us on that one.
The Facebook
you can
and
find
the
us
Insta
on
thing
Facebook, the Insta fame.
The Insta thing.
Insta thing.
Instagram.
Yeah, there's the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook, and I can't ever remember the 01. But you will find us if you type in Bowdivas. And we're www.bowdivas.com.
Yeah.
We are still uploading to that. Or
Well, not in a while.
okay. Okay, so
It's
Most people are on
there,
Facebook
but
anyway.
Yeah.
we are
but we haven't
typically
done
on
much.
Facebook if you'd like to find us or ask us a question or send us an idea for a show. If you'd like to see us do a show in a I don't know,
Bikini?
with some heck no, you ain't getting no bikini
It would just
time.
be you.
Heck no, you ain't getting no bikini time.
Look, John Mobo got on here and answered all the questions, and then like 5 minutes ago,
I specifically
and then he's
said-
like, "I think this is rigged."
it was totally rigged.
Oh, all
But anyway, yeah, find us on Facebook, and we do need some shares and some likes. We want to get our numbers up higher than the Bow Dudes. That's always the end goal here.
That's right. Always beat the Bow Dudes.
And we gave some stuff away tonight. I'm sorry if you weren't in on that, because by the time you hear this, it'll be last week.
We'll do it again one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am gonna do some shirts for next time. Just got to get the ink back, and we'll just do some screen pin shirts. And
Sounds good.
yeah.
Alrighty.
Cool,
All right.
cool.
All right, peace out, peoples.
All right. Goodbye,
Bye.
everybody, and stay shooting.
Yeah.
Hey, I got an idea too. I would like some people, if anybody has any females out there, do some hunting and have a nice, experience, a nice deer they want to share, send us a pic.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get it up on the website, up on the Facebook page. So
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
Do that.
share
That would
your
be awesome.
your trophies of any kind. If
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
daughter goes and shoots at her first tournament and you get a cute little picture of her and you're okay with us putting it on the Facebook or
Message
the
us
website.
or something.
Yeah, we
please.
like that kind of thing. So we always like positivity in the female archery world.
that's right.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Very
All right.
good.
Bye,
See ya.
everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
All right, say bye.
Say bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.